Hi, welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. I'm Christy. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the United States. Just checking on my things. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. Today is my sister's birthday, so shout out to my sister Michelle in Atlanta. And in her honor, we're going to make some teacup cards. She's really into tea and teacups, so I'm going to make a couple of cards, and we're going to actually, they're almost the exact same card, just one is going to be in very vanilla with using the Abigail Rose Designer Series paper, and the white, I'm going to use the white and black with the perfectly penciled Designer Series paper, but it's going to be the same layout, so if you guys like that, let's go ahead and get started, and I will turn you guys down. Title. Okay, here we go. Yay! Okay, so these are the two cards that we're going to make today. And I have a couple of different, so when I was making these at first with the Designer Series paper, I made one that with a much bigger flower. And I guess if you like the bigger flower that I actually cut from the Designer Series paper, make sure you put the flower on first and then the teacup to make sure that it all fits. For the teacups that we're going to fill today, we're actually going to put our teacup on and then fill it with multiple pieces. So I've cut up the Designer Series paper to make the flower bouquet in the teacups. Pretty. And so this one's black and white, and then this one is using the cottage. It's got that hint of petal pink. So I added a little bit of petal pink to our to the flowers as well as the stripes, a little petal pink. Okay, so also, if you want to see what it looks like in color, so this one I use the Happiness Abounds. That's the teacup, and I mean this is the stamp set that goes with the teacup dies. I forget what it's called. I have it right here, so I could remember what it's called. The cup of tea. The cup of tea stamp set that you can actually buy with the bundle with the teacup dies, although we're just going to be using the teacup dies today. And we're actually using the Happiness Abounds, the sentiment from Happiness Abounds. But this Designer Series paper is also from that matching Happiness Abounds. So if you're looking for more color, if you want color, this is from the in color Designer Series paper, and then I just fussy cut those out. And I think you can actually use some of the dies to get some of those really gorgeous blooms from the Happiness Abounds. So let's see here. So if you guys want to find it, so one of the things I like about when I make cards that are white or the very vanilla, I like to use the thick Whisper White cardstock. So I don't know if you had a chance to find that. But you can find that in our annual catalog on page 140 where you have the Wrap It Up. And that's where you can find our basic cardstock, where we have the basic white and very vanilla. You can get it in the 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11 thick, which is what we're going to actually use a piece of each, but the card bases are the thick. That's where I get the thick from, in both the basic white and the very vanilla. And also you can get it in 12 by 12. So if you are a scrapbooker and you're looking for that 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, you can find that there as well. Then there's all these funny treat things, but right there is where you're going to find that basic cardstock. And we're actually going to do some embossing as well, and I'm actually using two embossing folders, and they're not the 3D embossing folders. These are both regular embossing folders, and they just happen to go really well, I thought, with these blooms. So for the background, I'm going to be using the Pretty Flowers, which you can find on page 177 at the top corner right here. And then we're also going to be using the quatrefoil tile, which is right here, and they're both. So this one is actually a 6x6, so you can get a much bigger piece if you want. And we're actually using this one for the teacup, and we're using the Big Pretty Flowers, which is our regular size. It's got the 4.5 by 6.25 here, and like this one's a 6 by 6.25. So measurements. Now we do have one that's smaller, and those are the ones that are designed for the mini. And you can see those usually have the half. That's what these ones are. So make sure, if you're not sure if you want to stick the big one or a regular size, make sure you look at actually the measurements underneath. And then it does say in the title whether it's a 3D, and if it doesn't say, then it's a 2D, which means you just use, instead of using that much bigger platform that goes on top, it is just 2 of your clear plates to run these through your embossing folder. But I love these. I love embossing folders. I want to dry emboss everything. So I've actually already dry embossed, but I wanted to make sure you guys saw where you can pick those up in the annual catalog. And then if you're looking at the dies set that we're going to use today is right here on page 162. And you can see that there is the bundle price where you save 10%. And that is if you buy the dies and the stamp set together. Like I said, I used on this one the little hello and the little tag. That's actually the stamps that match. And you can find the stamp set on page 13. But the bundle price you can find here, and that's when you save 10% if you buy them both. And like I said, we're just using the dies today. And the other one is we are going to use the stamp set that is the Happiness Abounds. And I love the Hues of Happiness suite. I've used it quite a bit in the past, but I love these sentiments so much. And so we're just going to do the happy birthday. Like I said, today's my sister's birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of happy birthday cards. And I just love this designer series paper. And that's what I did to create this card. I just fussy cut out some of those blooms and put that on there. So pretty. Okay, so I told you about that. And then that just leaves the designer series paper we're going to use today. So if you go to page 133, you can see the perfectly penciled 12 by 12. And this is a gorgeous set of black and white designer series paper. I've used this. I think this is like maybe the first thing I used out of the annual catalog. Just absolutely gorgeous, super. I just love every piece of this stuff. It's so beautiful. So we're going to I actually fussy cut out some of these big blooms, and that's what we're going to put in our teacup. And then the piece of designer series paper right here is also from that. So I'm using that one pack for the blooms and for the for that other piece of designer series paper. So that's the perfectly penciled, and that's the one that's white and black. So we're going to use that with the white card. And then the other is called the Abigail Rose, which you can find that at the top of page 131 right here. I love that suite too. And that's got some gorgeous, it's a part of a suite, so it's got some gorgeous stamps that go with it as well. It's really pretty. It's a great plate. But the designer series paper is absolutely gorgeous. And it has some white and very vanilla, as well as like the crumb cake and the black. And I'm actually using this big piece here that's like the very vanilla and the black. And I just cut out. So you can see like there's this huge bloom, and that was the one that I used for the bigger card. I thought it was going to be a little bit too big right here. But then I'm going to use some of the littler blooms to make that we're going to use today. But I just cut them all from this sheet. As you can tell, it's all cut up. But it's a beautiful paper. I just love it. And I love to fussy cut, of course. Luckily, I fussy cut everything out so you guys don't have to watch me fussy cut. But I love it. But this is a gorgeous pack of paper, the Abigail Rose, especially if you like vintage style cards. This is got a lot of the early espresso or soft suede. What colors are in this? Yes. Basic black, crumb cake, early espresso, petal pink, smoky slate, and very vanilla. So this is a gorgeous pack. And again, that's where I got that petal pink stripe. It's from with this paper as well as the blooms. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it back. Right, so let's get started. Okay, so for we'll start with our very vanilla card first. And for the very vanilla, like I said, we're using the thick very vanilla cardstock. Let me go ahead and get all my pieces. So I started with a card base with the very vanilla, the thick very vanilla. And again, it's just the 11 by 4 1/4, and it is scored at 5 1/2. All right, so it's 4, and I'm thinking my thing got a little, I got a little I moved all my stuff a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So it's the 11, so I've just cut it in half at the 4 1/4, so I can get 2 card bases out of one sheet, and then scored it at the 5 1/2. So that's our card base. We're also going to need an inside layer, and I actually use for my inside layer as well as my front panel, I just used a regular piece of Very Vanilla. I wanted it to be strong, but I don't need it to be that strong. If you really feel like your card is really heavy, then it's better to do all thick cardstock. But so I didn't really want it all as heavy, but I definitely wanted the card base to be heavier. I just used a regular piece of the Very Vanilla, and this is my regular inside, which is the 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So that's what's going to be my inside layer. And then I need a panel of Very Vanilla. And again, I used just the regular Very Vanilla, not the thick. And I did emboss it with the, you guys can see that, with the pretty flowers. But I made this one is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So it's only going to be, so when I put that on the panel, and we're going to actually layer this other piece just right directly onto our already embossed piece. Okay, and then we're going to need to make our little triangles. And so we need to cut up, and we'll need two little pieces too for the back too. So let me show you how I cut the cardstock. We'll need a basic black layer, and we're going to need the Abigail Rose, this lovely, I love this side. That's gorgeous. So hard, but I love the stripe too. So I'm going to show you how you guys will make that diagonal. It's really actually kind of easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut your cardstock first, and it's going to be cut at the 4 by 5 1/4. So like that's my typical panel. And then I'm just going to line it up on my trimmer so that the corner and corner are just like that. So corner and corner, just like that. Right, so I moved it. If you feel like you're going to move it, you can always put a piece of Post-it tape. Looks good. I want to score it. So you're just going to cut it from corner to corner. So we're going to get 2, and just cut it in half, right? But like long ways, just like that. To get 2 little triangles. And then the second piece, your basic black cardstock panel, you're going to actually cut. This one is at the same 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So it's about 1/8 bigger than our other panel. Again, we're going to do corner to corner. Just like that. Muy bien. Okay, so that's how easy it is for that. And then you just have to, I found that you can, luckily the black you can move. You can move. You want to put your card, did I cut it the wrong way? No, I did, didn't I? No, I didn't. I did this time. I cut it look at that. I cut my dinosaurs paper. Am I doing it now? Isn't that funny? I was like, I made the other cards and I didn't even think about, but that's fine. You want, so when you're cutting it, oh, it should be, no, because it'll be the other side. I think I cut it on the other way the last time. Let me think. I have that moment of, what did I do? So you can, of course, no, it goes this way. I don't know how I did it differently this time. I must have the way I held the paper was different. That's all right. We can do it this way too. So you have 2 different sides. I did it the other way and it worked fine. So weird. Where's the? No. I don't know how I did it backwards. That is I cut them both the same, triangles the same way, so that it worked the same way. It's just going to go on the other side. Not really sure how I did it differently this time, but it still looks really lovely this way as well as that way because it will fit just the same. All right, so let's go ahead and glue these down. So I'm going to use glue to cut this. Just like that. I like to use the glue because it does give me a little bit more wiggle room. Just like that. And then I'm just going to glue this onto there. It's so weird. I don't know how I did that wrong. I'm going to have to investigate later. It shouldn't matter. I feel like I could flip it somehow. I'm just not seeing it because I'm on live. It just makes you feel so cute. It looks so good with the black. And then because I did it that size, so it's just going to go right on top, right? And you're not going to leave a space where you can see the this underneath of it, right? It's just going to go so you can line it straight up onto the edge of your a little bit bigger. There we go. So let's put the glue on. And make sure I'm opening it the right way. Just get it lined up nice. Yay! Okay, there you go. Nice, very pretty, very pretty. Okay, and then I did do the teacup. So the teacup, let's see, because I'm doing it this way, do I want the handle to go that way? So on these ones, I wanted the teacup handle to go this way, and I actually embossed it. So I embossed this with the quatrefoil tile embossing folder, and this is the top. When you have the little stamp, you can look for the little Stampa logo. You know that's the top. So if you want you can decide which side you want your cup to be. If you want it to go this way, and if you want whether or not you want your design to be popping up or you want it to be going in. So on this one, on these ones here, I actually have it so that it goes in. I just kind of like the way that looked instead of going out. But now that I've flipped it, I wonder if I like to have my teacup going like this better. But this time I'm going to do it like a complete mirror opposite. In that on these ones I have the design going that way, and this one I have the design going this way, so that the handle is near my designer series paper. And then I'm just going to kind of line it up. I think I like it just here, and we're going to put our sentiment down along the bottom right here when we're done stamping it. So you know that that's kind of where you want it to go. If you want to move your teacup higher or lower, you know where your sentiment's going to be. And this is just a half an inch a strip of the very vanilla. Okay, I think I want it to be like that. So I'm just going to take a Stampin' Dimensional. I do like it to go opposite. I like the handle to go this way. I don't know how I did it different this time. So I'm going to actually put the Stampin' Dimensionals lower right here because I'm going to tuck in. I need on the side. There we go. I'm going to tuck in my flowers. So you don't want to have it really high up the top. You want to have space to put our flowers on there. So let's go ahead and get off our little sticky. I like it lower. Now if I was using a big thing of flowers, if I was using this big flower, then you would want to make sure it would fit on here before you put your cup down. I'm going to use the smaller flowers, so it's not going to be that big of a problem. So I'm going to use this one, and I just fussy cut this out of that designer series paper. I kind of built what I kind of wanted it to look like. Just like that. There's another piece. And then I actually did these little black, I guess these are like little boughs. They're almost like little flowers. And I actually punched these out with our bow punch. Right here. Just made a little strip and punched out. I'm just going to use 3 on each of my projects. Okay. And then I am going to add some of this beautiful, the black and white, what is this called? The black and white gingham ribbon. And then I just use my dark Stampin' Blend to add color to it, so it's not white anymore. It is a little bit of the petal pink. And then I'm actually going to use my light petal pink to add some color to my flower. So I'm not going to add a lot of color to the flower. I'm not going to like color it. I'm just going to add, actually let me use the other end. And I'm just going over the lines. So this beautiful designer series paper like kind of already has the lines where you would want to show a little bit of extra. So I've done that. This one's the dark. I'm not going to color the whole thing in, just a little, and then just a little bit of the light and the lines, just to kind of give it a little bit of color, but not like a ton of color. And I'm kind of doing it in lines because to kind of match our lines here. Okay. You can see, so it's just a little bit. But since this is my main flower, I want to make sure that I have that arranged the way I like it. And then I'm going to put the Stampin' Dimensional behind it so that it goes. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensional, and I'm actually going to put it right here up against the teacup, right here. Let's see if I can do this to zoom out a little bit. I just have to remember I've zoomed out so you guys can see still. So I've got the Stampin' Dimensional right there. That way I can want to make sure that when I put the teacup in where I want it to go, or the flower, that it stops. And then, okay, so I'm going to put one more up here at the top. And then I'm going to use my glue dots and put a glue dot on the, here on the, oops. Where is my glue dot? Here we go. Just going to put a glue dot on the, over here on the tip, just to hold it down. And one on the little, on the leaf. And then I'm going to take that paper off there, and take the paper off here, and then to kind of arrange that where I want it to be. So it's kind of on and in the cup, but not too much. Very good. Bien. Okay, and then I have some more leaves I want to put in there, so I'm just going to fill it out a little bit. So I'm just going to use some glue and just put some glue on the underneath here. You can also use, again, the glue dots. But I'm just going to tuck it to kind of where I want it to go under here. And so it kind of gives you a bunch of different little layers, right? The same with our these little black bows. Just going to tuck it in to make our bouquet. So pretty. And here's these other ones. And so yeah, like I love to fussy cut. You don't have to do as much, but and again, the cottage rose, I believe it's the cottage rose that goes to the Abigail Rose Suite, has some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stamped images. So you can use your stamped images if you don't want to use your designer series paper. I just love designer series paper, and I love to cut it up. I guess I do really have a thing for fussy cutting. It's probably not healthy. I love it so much. Okay. There we go. It's so pretty. And then I think I need some more. So you just cut out as much as you want, or as little, and just fill it in till you're happy with the way it looks. And I put a bunch of these super cute flowers. Now I'm going to put this one on a glue dot because the glue dot gives it a little bit more, gives it a little bit of different height than the ones below it. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, we need one more black one. So we have 3. And then we're going to add our bow and some gems, and then we'll stamp our sentiment. Okay. There we go, just like that. Is that pretty? Oh, so pretty. We can add a little bit of Wink of Stella. I always have to add Wink of Stella to everything. I just love Wink of Stella. So I just kind of dot it on. You don't have to make sure you get everything perfect. It's just lovely to have that on there. And then I added some basic rhinestones. They're under here. I'm just going to tuck them inside. But let's put our get these out so I don't forget them. I have a tendency to forget I'm on camera, to put my jewels on, especially with paper pumpkin. I think that's the worst. Okay, like I said, I used the dark petal pink and just added the color on there. And I'm going to tie a bow. I just want a small bow. And that nice fill out. I do like this. This ribbon. Especially since you can color it to make it match. And we have some really lovely black. You'll be probably seeing a lot of this ribbon because we have that gorgeous black and gray, black and white. It's kind of like the Halloween sweet one. It's really nice too. I'll have to make some pretty colors. Gorgeous grape maybe too. Look good with it for Halloween. But this is like subtle. Petal pink is subtle. It's very pretty. Okay, and then use some glue dots to add it to our. I want it to go. Oops. I think I want it to go like that. Just like that. And then we need some gems. Let's add a few gems. So I'm just going to tuck the gems in randomly so they look nice. Poking out in the foliage. Just like that. You guys see that? Pretty? Oh, so pretty! And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. And so the sentiment is, this is just a half-inch strip of the Very Vanilla, the regular Very Vanilla. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Happy Birthday, which I said was from the Happiness Abounds. It also has like a best wishes and a friend. I just really love this. I actually have a huge collection of these that Stampin' Up! Has done over the years. They're really big and long. So this is like, love them so much. And I'm going to use my Memento Black. And I was going to go before and clean that out. So be careful. I cleaned one of them. I have a couple of these Memento Blacks. I thought I had done this one, but I did not. Grabbed the wrong one. That's right. So I'm just going to add that. Now, my Photopalm, this one's been well seasoned and stamps really well. I also have this a pad underneath. But if you don't have a pad, sometimes stamping your sentiment on the Stampin' Pierce mat that you can get in our online store makes it even better to stamp on. Especially if you're having trouble seeing. You can see it, where it's really nice on, because it has the dark background on the white. Actually, I guess the vanilla. Okay, so then I'm going to use my paper snips. Now I want this to be a little bit smaller, about 3/4, but I'm not very good at stamping that close. So I'm going to actually use my paper snips. So just like this is fine, but I like it to be a little thinner. You can't really tell that these are just a tad smaller because I really like to just quickly fussy cut down just a little bit off. So I think that makes this about 3/8, 3/4, or no, 3/8. I think is that. Is it 3/8? Yeah. It's just a tad. It's almost. I don't know. It's about. It's between 1/2 and 3/8. I just cut it down so it's a little bit smaller. It makes it perfect. Yeah, I just like it that way. Okay. Then, let's see. Just like it thinner, it looks better. It's a little bit thinner. The sentiment. Away. And we're just going to put that right here. And I just center it at the bottom, but center it kind of between the two. So it kind of fits in there nice centery. Isn't that pretty? So pretty! So I'm not sure exactly how I actually cut my designer series paper different this time than I did before. It's so weird, but now we need to do our inside layer. Like I said, I have an inside layer that is the 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then I did cut my 2 strips. So, here's my 2 strips. I'm going to put one on here on my inside panel. And I do really love to, especially when I'm using white, and even though I'm using the thick, I love to use an extra piece of cardstock for my inside layer, because if I mess up, then I can just not put it in. I can stamp it and then glue it in. That way if I've messed it up, I'm only messing up one piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp on the back, which then still was nail bitery. But so again, I'm using the Happiness Abounds, and this is the wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. So that's the sentiment. And I like to do it on the back as well as on the inside. So go ahead and stamp this on the back. Get even. Like I said, if you don't have a surface, you can use your Stamp and Pierce mat, or use a piece of cardboard. If you get the cardboard from the your paper pumpkin, you can keep that. And then this is just the Stampin' Up! Logo that's in the limited edition. I just really love it because it's like it's finished. Or you look for the hallmark on the back. I look for my Stampin' Up! On the back. Okay, and then we want to stamp on here the same, the wishing you the happiness, all the happiness. That, and then I want to add, I did cut out an extra piece, a tiny flower and a little tiny leaf, so I can have that on the inside. On one of them I actually put some on the back. You can also cut it out and put some on the back as well, depending how much you'd like. Oh, before I do that, I want to use the petal pink. Just the light one. I'll just use the light one. Just add a little bit of petal pink to my flower. And I'm using glue. Glue really works well, especially when you're doing it on the inside or the back of your card, because it adheres really close, right? The glue dot gives it a little bit of a lift, and you don't want your stuff to snag, right? When you're so, it works so nice. I love, love, love. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to put that on the inside. Add my glue. So even with this, I need to make sure I've got a little bit of wiggle room. Find that I need that more and more. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so pretty. These teacups are awesome. So the teacups, oh, I realized I didn't even show you guys the teacup dies. I showed you in the catalog. So the teacup dies, you get 17 dies, and they have the big teacup. And that's the one I've just been using. It's just this one right here. That's the one I used to cut out. This is the one I used for the die for the hello that was on the other card. They have one too that does a frame, right? So this one cuts out just the outline of it's a really delicate outline that you can put on top that has like the leaf images on top. And then this cuts out the pieces that you can stamp, and there's like a lemon, there's hearts. It's super cute. It's a great bundle to have, especially if you love teacups. Very cute. So that's what I cut our teacup out of. So there you go. That is our first card. Isn't that pretty? Awesome. So now I don't know how I did the other card. Let's put that there. That I was able to get it the other way. I'll probably have to investigate. Because look at that. This is the other one we made. I just cut it. I don't know how. It worked the right way. Here's our white for our sentiment. So again, for the white card, I'm using the thick Whisper White, and I've cut it again at the 4 1/4 and scored it at our, it's 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And then I have a piece of Whisper White, the regular basic white, not Whisper White, basic white. That's the 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. It goes on the inside. And then I dry embossed a piece of the regular basic white with that pretty flowers embossing folder. It's so pretty. And then I'm just going to glue that down. And then I did cut a basic black triangle as well as the other one with the stripes from the pretty perfectly penciled, which is so pretty. So we're going to go ahead and glue that all on there just like that. So it's very similar to, it should be almost exactly the way we did the other one. Okay, so let's go ahead, get that all together. Okay. Now, this one's going to go the right way. It's not the opposite. I'm not sure how I did it. I think I should have turned it around, but I don't know. So this is really, I really love this. I wasn't sure if I was going to like this embossing folder. And I find that I use it all the time now. This really big flower. It's a really great background. It adds, it's not too feminine, but it's very pretty. Go, get that on there. Have that on there straight. If you like the glue, so you have a little bit of wiggle room. You gotta make sure you put enough glue though, so it does wiggle. Nice. You should always make sure your hands are clean before you work with the white. I should have really, really made sure that I had grabbed the clean Memento Black. So I think I mentioned last week, you can use a damp, not super wet, but a damp paper towel just to go around the inside rim of your Memento ink so that you can get that excess ink off the lid so that when you're taking it off, you're not actually putting it on your fingers or on your work surface or your card project. You don't want that. Black is the hardest one to get off. Okay. There we go. Then we're just going to put it on. Same way we did the other one. See, yeah, I don't know what I've done. How I did wrong on the other side. I do not know. I probably will never be able to recreate it again. To go the wrong way. I'll have to watch the video and see what I did. It's funny. Okay, there we go. Put that on just like that. So pretty. Oh my gosh, I really just love how the texture between the two. It's very nice. Okay, so again, I like to have the cup going, the handle going towards the designer series paper. So if depending on if you like the, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. It has like with it coming out, poking out. If you do, make sure you put your cup in with where you want your handle to be. The side you want it to be inside with the label, the logo up. And did I put it back in here? Here it is right here. Make sure you have the logo up. So if you want to have the raised coming towards you, you want to make sure you put the teacup with the handle this way. If you want it to be inside, you want to make sure you flip it this way. Or the opposite. So this way is for if you want it to be this on that side. If you want it to be raised on the top, then you need to do it the other way. Oh my gosh. Because, right, I like the handle going this way. So I had to I actually ran it through like this. If I wanted the handle to be this way and I wanted it raised, I would have had to do it this way. Does that make sense? But I want it to go this way. And again, I'm just going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals. And just keep in mind that because it is double layer right here, you definitely need to make sure you put Stampin' Dimensional. But you don't want to put it too close to the top because, again, we are going to fill it in. But you want it to make sure you have one on the other side of the here so it's not wobbly. I want it to be like right there. And if you used a big one, you can tell, like when you have it this side, if you have it really big, you don't want it to go your flowers to be off the page, right? You need it to make sure you're on the page. But I fussy cut out this pencil, the perfectly penciled, which I love. This is one of my favorite designer series papers, especially if you like black and white designs. It's so gorgeous. Okay, let's see here. This one I'm not going to color. So I did add a little bit of the color to this one so it can match the pretty pink. But on this one I'm not going to do because it's the black and white. It's very pretty. Okay, so again, I'm going to take one of my Stampin' Dimensionals and set it right here so that it's right up against. I know exactly how I want this to go. So on these little ones I need to put one dimensional at the bottom. I mean a glue dot at the bottom. And then, actually I don't think I need to put another dimensional. Just open that one up. Take off the lid, its skirt, and then put that however you want it to go. That's nice. That's very pretty. And then we're just, again, like we did with the other one, we're just going to fill it in with things I've cut. So I think the leaves is for the inside. Like that. Alright, so I've got just any way you want it to go. And I am going to use my glue. And for this one, I just cut all kinds of different parts of the pattern. So there's so many pretty blooms on this paper. And just keep in mind, you don't have to keep it all together. Like if I cut this piece, the big piece out here with these 3 leaves, right? Then I'm going to cut that off and then just put it inside. If you get these 3 leaves, you can just tuck them. Just, cut whichever flowers you like, and you can just glue them in. Glue them in to build it however you like. Let's see here. And then we want to add again the little black bows that I punched with the bow punch. These are cute. I'm going to do few of these in there. It's fun. So this bow punch does some really nice leaves. I thought about using the leaves, but I really like these pretty, almost like little rosebuds. Very nice. Add a nice texture. And let's see, I cut some more of these pretty flowers. Just don't want it to go too far. Try to think of how I did it before. Ooh. Feel like that, I think. Okay, so layering it on top of each other. I love doing that, and it looks just so good in the teacup. I'm gonna add. I want to use 3. That one on this side. And I just use the glue and not try to use the sticky. We do have that sticky stuff that works really nice as well. You can put a piece of that, make it a sticker. our adhesive sheets. So you don't just have to use it to die cut. You could put it on here too, and then, oops, get that through. How do I want that to go? Look at that. Not pretty? Oh, so pretty. Love, love, love. You can use a sticker sheet, the sticky adhesive, to just put it on the back, and then you can fussy cut it out. And then when you're ready to put it in, you could just peel the backing up and make it into a sticker. I find that it's a little bit more difficult for me to do that because I just don't use it enough. So again, I'm just going to make another bow. This time I'm not going to color it because I want it black and white. I've just left it on the spool. So I found that it's about 7.5 inches. I need about 7.5 inches. There's a little bit of waste, but it's not too bad. So when I did the coloring for this one, I did 7.5 inches, and then I colored it. That gives me enough space. I can find that I save just a little bit if I can do it on the roll, but you can't do that when you're coloring. So then let's I think it needs to be smaller. I always want to say I want a big bow, and I never do. I just keep going smaller and smaller. I love the little small bows. I'm just going to use my ribbon scissors. Go. Love, love, love. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay. Then add that to here. So I don't know why I'm like in a total black and white kick. I do love that. We just have some really beautiful black and white. And then the other one is like black and gray, basic gray. So we have some really nice options if you like the black and white. Looks really elegant. I really like it. Especially when you're doing the white on white. I kind of really like that white on white. Looks so pretty. Okay, now we need the rhinestones, and to do our sentiment, here is our rhinestones. So I'm just going to tuck them in here, kind of inside the foliage, so it's kind of sparkly. And just kind of see it. And then, let's see, where do you think I should put this? Should I go down here? Nope, it needs to go like right here. And use your take a pick tool. Oops, I got it on the. Get out my finger, there you go. I got it on the teacup, but I want it to be underneath the flower, not the teacup. Let's see. Let's go down just a little bit lower. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Now I do again want to add Winkostella. Away. What did I do with the Winkostella pen? Just add a little bit, and I'm just like pouncing it a little bit just to add a little bit of sparkle. I love the rhinestones because it does add a little bit of sparkle too. But it's nice. So I just add a little bit to the middle. Pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then I will add, it looks good even without, so if you're going to make some note cards to give, you didn't even have to put a sentiment on there. But again, I'm going to go ahead and use the Happiness Abounds again. It's a big long one. My Memento Black. And stamp it on there. See that? Nice. And then, I don't know how moist, I know the weather is bad everywhere, super moist. You don't want to make sure you don't smear your memento. And I'm going to, again, cut it just a little bit thinner. So it can go right there. I don't need my So I will probably, when I get this on my blog, I will show which directions So if you want it to go this way or the other way, I will totally cut up some designer series paper until I figure out what I did wrong with that. It's going to drive me nuts until I figure that out. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so pretty. And again, I love the inside. So let's do the back and the inside. So on this one, I actually added more flowers. So you can totally cut up more of your designer series paper and put it on the back if you want. I am just going to put some on the inside here. Okay, and then here is these strips, and the strips are a half an inch by 4. And even though this is white, I do like to put like I said, I do like to put an inside panel. It gives it a little bit more stability, but then if I mess up on my sentiment, I don't have to cut my card base, right? Cut my card front off, which I have done in the past to save it. Also, if like I somehow don't get this even, I can always snip it to make it even. Just easier. Okay, and then I'm going to use again the same wishing you all happiness. Wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. That is from That Happiness Abounds. On the inside, and I'll put it on the back. And then I will add the logo on the back. So nice. Just love that. Looks so good. Okay, and then I want to add the flowers. Like I said, I added some more pretty flower. So I'm gonna cut and see. Look at the leaves. I just cut the 2 off of a sheet that I already cut. So I save all those pieces because I love to fussy cut, and it just looks so good. The black and white just looks so good. I'm adding the glue. Oop, I was going to add, oh no color. I was like, ooh, should I have added the color? No, the color was for the pink one. This one I just leaving black and white. Look at that. Just so hard. And I didn't use like a lot of color. Like I totally wanted to go more in color, but I was trying not to. I wanted to make it more black and white. Okay, then I can add this to the inside. And I actually have, if you look up, on several examples of the perfectly penciled where I've colored the designer series paper. It is really lovely. It looks beautiful as it is, but it also looks very beautiful colored. So, but I love this layout with, or you can, like I did with the blue, use that's just a stitch rectangle, and I actually just embossed the front panel of this one and put that down and built on top and used one of our ink colors. I think that's a Paracut Party for the bow. I just love that. I love the triangle. So that worked out really pretty. Love, love, love. So I hope you guys enjoyed the teacup cards. This is all annual catalog stuff that we have, but it all goes really well with, I was thinking I could put a hippo in the teacup. It's not the same as like a puppy. I think you can put it in a teacup. But I was taking a little bit of a break from our fabulous celebration stuff, as I know this is like the end of the first month, and I think I saw something earlier before I went on that maybe the Rings of Love might be sold out. I'm not for sure, but which I love that designer series paper, but I made lots of projects with that. But as you can see, I just love the black and white. So you can, it looks great with the very vanilla or the basic white, which is awesome. And then I want to just remind you that it is celebration. So if you'd like to get our new Sweet Sunflowers paper pumpkin, that is, you have until August 10th to get this gorgeous set, and it comes with these beautiful foil honeycomb. You get like 8 of these foil honeycomb sheets, as well as 2 spots in it. Oh, it's a gorgeous set. Like, I'm super excited. Although I loved the July kit. The August kit looks like it's going to be awesome. I mean, they're always awesome. But there's also, we're going to probably do there definitely is Christmas sets coming up for your paper pumpkin, and it's the best time to get it, paper pumpkin, because if you go onto my online store, you can buy a 3-month or 6-month or even a year. I usually buy my year in February because I get all the extra stuff for my birthday, and then I have it all year round. My husband buys me that and has for years. My 12-month subscription. But if you get it now and you get it in my online store, you can qualify for free celebration. And like I said, I think that the one Rings of Love Designer Series paper, Seafoam, and Pool Party card bases, I think have already sold out here in the United States. I think our Rings of Love might have, but those hippos are still there, and those gorgeous caravan, the tree lot dies. So there's still lots of fabulous celebration stuff to get. Also, when you order in my online store this month, or during celebration, I'm going to give you the Splendid Day tutorial mega bundle for free with a purchase. $50 more, I will send that to you as well. It's a PDF, and I think I've got my Google Docs or Dropbox to send that to you in email. But it's 27 tutorials using the Splendid Day. It's in our July to December 2022 mini catalog, and these are gorgeous projects, and they're both in metric and imperial, so inches and centimeters. So it's a fabulous bundle. You can also just get the bundle in my online store as well. So celebration is just always fun. I just love celebration. So, and we still have a month left. So if you haven't picked up those hippo dies or the tree lot dies, there's still time. Don't wait. You want to get them as soon as you can. And like I said, let's see if I can get the title to go right. There is. I have to go to my thing to see the title. There it is. It's so weird, the title things. I have not quite got figured this whole system out yet, but you can use my July host code. Remember to use that host code, and when you spend $50 or more, I'll send you the free for me finds sparkle gems, as well as the Splendid Day tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's teacup cards, designer series paper teacup cards. Use either one of our gorgeous designer series paper that we've got, the Abigail Rose I used today, as well as that perfectly penciled. So with those teacup dies, which I love those teacup dies. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope the weather gets better across the United States. Things seemed really dire in a lot of places, but hopefully you guys are going to get a chance to get a chance to craft. And again, shout out to my sister for happy birthday for their teacups. But anyway, happy crafting. Bye, guys.